Are the issues to be resolved surmountable, and this could still be done by year's end?
Well, the question as to whether or not it's surmountable is all relative to what you think about this particular issue. I believe that we are more than 80–85% there. There still remains some outstanding issues. My preference is to be in a position to deal with those at the appropriate time in a process that includes significant amounts of community input. Having a very diverse district, it's clear that I have some wiggle room that's going to be required as it relates to the ability to apply code in these particular neighborhoods. But I'm interested in doing something by the end of the year, but understanding that there needs to be some work done on some of these outstanding issues.
Good.
Well, as the administration testified on the record, we're going to work hard over the next 15 or 20 days to try to resolve any outstanding issues that we are aware of between council and the ZCC sort of executive director and work group. There are about 28 issues that were identified in the last testimony that many council members agree with, including deleting certain provisions of the code. Those are issues that have not been raised in current discussions between the ZCC and council, and so our intention is to try to work through those in the next 15 or 20 days so that we can pass a resolution out of council with our recommendations back to the ZCC by October 20th, which will allow us to be on a path to get something done by the end of the year. Where we disagree, I think our current plan is to not change the code, put that aside, and come back to it so that we can pass the 99.5% that we agree on and move it forward. For example, one area of disagreement is the parks and what is allowed as a primary use or accessory use on what is currently parkland. Our view of that is putting that aside till next year will not affect development. There's no major development affected to the park, so why should we argue over that now? Let's just pass the code that is going to help us get investment and development in their areas where there are development pressure.
Okay. Are there any other issues that you see as like the major issues that you want to get worked out in the process before the end of the year?
Well, I would love to get them all worked out, and that's really the goal, to try to work through that in the next 15 or 20 days. If we can't, I don't want to hold up the work that's been done. I want to try to get everything we agree on done by the end of the year.
Okay. And just so I'm clear, from what I heard, I think I understood what you told Andy Toy. So you're no longer asking them to delay implementation.
Well, the whole purpose of the memo we sent a month ago was to try to create a middle ground between that position and the position, that tried to move us closer towards the majority report. And I think we're a lot closer to the majority report than we were by dealing with specific uses rather than the overall mapping. I mean, the fundamental problem that everybody forgets is that even with the current zoning code, the problem hasn't been with the zoning code, or a large part of the problem. The problem has been with the Planning Commission, and the fact that the Planning Commission has never sort of done a new comprehensive plan that says this is industrial but it should be commercial, or this is industrial but it should be residential. And that is not going to happen with the new zoning code, because automatic conversion won't take something that's commercial today and make it residential. It won't take something that is industrial and make it industrial mixed use, which would allow some residential, or commercial mixed use, which would allow combinations of industrial, commercial, and residential, etc. So the work that is going to create stuff that is of right in areas that could be developed if there was a change in zoning designation is not going to happen, and that will only happen through a remapping process involving the comprehensive plan. And until we do that, we really haven't changed much, except expanded uses in existing districts. So, the big bang for this new zoning code and applying these new districts that don't exist today in the current zoning code, like, industrial mixed use, commercial mixed use, etc., won't happen from an investment perspective until there is a mapping. So the issue of mapping is very important. Doing it quickly is very important if we're going to promote investment and development in the city of Philadelphia.